Hey, what's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video, and we've got a big video ranking every location in Fortnite Chapter 2 from worst to best. Now, if you're new to the channel, make sure to subscribe, drop a like on the video, and let's get right into it. So, for this video, most of the locations here are named locations, but there's an odd few locations that are just landmarks. So, anyway, we're going to rank every single one from worst to best. So coming at number 52, this is a landmark, and this is the Hydro 16 Dam. Personally, I think it was good enough to make the list. You know, it's got a few chests. It's just that little area near Slurpee, and honestly, it's a really decent landmark. Again, though, it's not going to get any higher than any other location on this list, but I thought it was honestly decent enough to put onto the list. And yeah, it's getting number 52. And number 51 is all those mini spire landmarks. The thing I think that makes these better than the Hydro Dam, really, is just that, you know, you got that bit we can just jump off on for mobility, and honestly, it was just a really decent thing. I think all of them I'm pretty sure are still in the game right now, actually, if I'm correct. I don't think a single one's been removed, which is even better. Okay, coming in number 50, it's the Flush Factory landmark, which is just obviously in the swamp biome. Again, another one of those landmarks. It has a few chests, and arguably, I think it's decent for the list. Obviously, there's probably not going to be anyone's particular drop area, but I mean, if you happen to land there and you got a bad drop, then it can maybe do, like, for you. And that's why it's getting the number 50 spot. Alright, coming at number 49 with the island. Just probably, in my opinion, the worst middle location. It was nothing really interesting. You know, it was just a cabin with a few houses, and it's just the middle island with just a cabin, really. And yeah, it wasn't really anything in particular. Alright, and plus they only had like 9 chests anyway, so yeah, I didn't really have much love for the island area. Personally, that's just again, this is all my opinion. Okay, obviously I died, but we're gonna continue recording anyway. Anyway, coming in number 48 with that Halloween store landmark. Honestly, a very decent landmark. To be honest, you got obviously the building, you got the Viking building on top, you got a gas station and another building around. It's honestly a very decent landmark, and I thought that would be good enough for the list. Number 47 is that little Homey Hills landmark. If you don't know what I'm talking about, it was the one that West Elfie Stronghold is now. It used to be like 5 different houses with quite a few chests each. I used to land there quite a bit in my older videos every now and then, 'cause I just thought it was a good, cool landmark. And yeah, I think one of the houses is actually still there, but all the others are gone. And number 46, this is the first name location, and it's Boney Burbs. Now, I think some people are going to agree with me on this one. The Boney Burbs should be like the lowest ranked POI, but some are probably going to disagree as well. Boney, in my opinion, just wasn't a good location. I bet other people can agree with me on this one. Boney Burbs just wasn't that great. Even though it's good loot and it's central, it was hard to build. It was just hard to build, and obviously, like the building, it just didn't fit the building grid that well, and that's just a problem. And that can really make the POI less enjoyable to land at. And that's my reason to why it's only getting number 46. And number 45, we have the Sharky Shell landmark, just located. Obviously, the broken version of the shark. Honestly, again, just a fairly decent landmark that you could land at if you want to. If you happen to get a bad drop, you could just land there, get loot up, and then just, I don't know, rotate into Coral Castle if you really want to get more loot there. Which, actually, speaking of Coral Castle, that's going to be on number 44 spot. Now, I think some people are going to be like, Coral should be the lowest ranked on this list. Now, for Coral Castle, I've chose to look at the best version. If this was the abducted version, I would have put it a lot lower. We're looking at the best version of it. The one that's obviously, that before they got abducted. Yeah, not a great location, but I guess it's just there if you really obviously want to land there, but I doubt really anyone particularly likes going there. And number 43, we have the Aftermath. It was obviously the location in the middle before the convergence came in. Again, I can just point out, just like the island area, it wasn't really anything interesting. It was only a huge crater with a few chests, and plus if you were in the bottom of that crater, you could just easily get like hit by someone with an AR or something, or a sniper. It just, again, wasn't that good. Alright, let's go to the lobby, Corey. Okay. I'm just obviously playing with my friend right now while we're doing this. Alright. Coming in number 42, we have the Lockjam Woodworks area. The one with loads of pallets, and the one that got hit by Durburger in Season 5. Again, that landmark was actually honestly pretty decent, and I'm glad it's still in the game now. But anyway, fairly decent landmark to land that, and yeah, that's all I really have to say about it. Alright, number 41, we have Sludgy Swamp. Okay, so I've chosen to look at the this is the worst version of Slurpee. The best version of Slurpee will have its own rank, but because of how changed Slurpee got after the abduction, like, you know, like lost a lot of slurp and stuff, I think it's obviously arguably just to have this as its own spot. Yeah, Sludgy was just not that good. It's just trash. Like, I would rather, at this point, I could honestly just put Logjam above it. It barely is any loot, and you can get very limited slurp then now. I honestly, Slurpee should not have just got abducted. They should have just got rid of another location for anyone abducted it. But even though it was cool though, but yeah, because Slurpee's not a really great POI now anyway. I think everyone can agree with me on that. Or most people can agree with me on that though. And yeah, that's what's going to get number 41 is, yeah. And number 40, it's all these little abducted crash site landmarks that have been added this season. I just chose to put all of these into one rank. I mean, they're pretty much all the same thing, just a crashed UFO with a slipstream and maybe a few chests around. Again, it's a fairly decent landmark, and I would obviously rather land there than Slurpee. Alright, coming in number 39, we have the yacht. Just, particularly in my opinion, the worst boss location in Fortnite. It just wasn't that good. Now, at the start of the season, it was still bad, but it was probably better before the Deadpool collab came in. Because originally it was the Miasu PRPR rifle, which was a good mythic, but was definitely worse than the mythic Scar, the mythic grappler, the mythic minigun, and the mythic drum gun. But then, when Deadpool came in, it just made it a whole lot worse, because the Deadpool mythics weren't that good. They did less damage to the dual pistols. Well, I guess they give you health bonus, but it was just so far away as well, and barely had any loot. And just to hopefully good luck that you were not far away from the zone. Very rarely was you close to the zone, and a lot of games, if you had the zone all the way on to like by the other side of the map, maybe where Slurpee was, and even if the Rigger was in the zone, it just sucked, and it was a very annoying thing. Yeah, it was very annoying. And yeah, that's why it's only getting number 39. I'm sorry, but if you do like the yacht, I will totally respect your opinion to why. But in my opinion, I just think the yacht really was pretty terrible. And 38 is Camp Cod. It was that little island that down at the southeast point of the map. It's not too bad. Decent loot, but one of the most out of the way POIs. Honestly, I think it was a decent landmark. It's a fairly. I have respect for Camp Cod. It's not a terrible landmark. I think this is the 4th highest ranked landmark on this list. I could be wrong, but I think it's the 5th or 4th highest ranked landmark. Right, number 37, we have the Orchard. Obviously, just north of Colony Complex, a little landmark. The reason, even though the Camp Cod has more loot and is a lot larger, Orchard is just a fairly central landmark, and you're probably most likely not going to be too far away from the zone. And that's why Camp Cod is a low rank than the Orchard, and the Orchard is a high rank. And is at ranked number 37. Right, number 36, we have the Ruins. It was that location in the where the authorities didn't have to Halloween. After in the Halloween update, it was a decent POI, but after the Halloween update, it just became trash. Like, there was just nothing special about it anymore. And yeah, that's just me pointing out to why I don't think it was good. Plus, it was just worse version of authority. There was just less stuff there anyway after it got affected when the Halloween update. And yeah, and number 35, we have the Spire. Again, wasn't a really good middle POI either. Hard to build in, just like Bony Burbs. Didn't place the building grid, and yeah. Plus, the Raz boss there was just really annoying to fight when he was there. Like, he just was way too hard. And plus the location again. Well, yes, the Spire might have had decent loot. It just, again, I just don't really love the primal POIs too much. And yeah, that's why it's only getting number 35. And number 34, we have Holly Hedges. So Holly actually has got its own rank spot as well, but we're talking about Holly Hedges. I used to hate Holly Hedges, but I don't hate it. It doesn't. I know obviously not great, not overly great loot, but I don't think it's like, you know, the worst loot. So I do think it's not a terrible POI, but I don't think it's the greatest POI at all. And I think Sparks can agree with me on this one, because I think Sparks doesn't like Holiday Hedges that much either. Alright, at number 35, not number 35, sorry, number 33, we have Salty Springs. Now, again, Salty, it's obviously the same thing as Holiday Hedges, not a lot of loot. But the problem with Salty is a lot of people went there. Even way less loot than Holiday Hedges. And I know it was a very central location, but just the thing that suffered about it, the thing that was bad about it, was just so many people went there, and it was just annoying. If you didn't get your hands on a decent gun there, you just wasn't guaranteed a good game. And yeah, that's my opinion to why I feel like Salty Springs wasn't a great location. We're starting to get in the range of locations that I'd be fine with to land at, but maybe there's like an F, like a not really so great point at the moment. We're just looking at the like very meh places right now. And number 32 of Holly Hatchery. Not really much different from Holly Edges, same area, just adding decorate, but the thing that makes it better is just the low graphic thing. Obviously, it was cool, and I give it respects for that. All right, anyway, coming in at the number, I'm trying to sort my curtains out real quick. Coming at number 31, we have the Colossal Crops location. This is the highest ranked of the primal locations on the list. Well, I think Colossal Crops is quite a bit better in my opinion compared to the Spire and what is it, Bony Burbs. I still think it's not like an overly fantastic POI. Okay, I think the problem with the primal POIs was that it was very hard to build in. Obviously, like it didn't place on the building grid that well. I think that was really one of the main issues with the primal POIs. I think. Well, yes, the design it was really cool, but again, that was just mainly the issue with the primal POIs. It just didn't really place the building grid that well, and that's why it's only getting number 31. And number 30, we have the Risky Bills area, the one that's in the middle of the map, obviously. Very good landmark. This is the second highest ranked landmark on this list. Honestly, it was a very good landmark, and yeah, I'm glad I stuck around for the whole chapter, despite going through a lot of chains, like being flooded, being hit by Starkins, just being covered in sand, being covered in snow wads, and all this collab stuff. It's gone through so much, but I'm glad that they kept it though. It was a perfect landmark. And what else was I gonna say? Alright. Coming in at the number 29 spot is gonna be Hunter's Haven. Wasn't my particular type of location, but I don't hate it. It's like it's an alright POI, but I wanna say it was like a top tier POI for me. I don't know, Hunter's Haven, even though it was decent, there was just something about it that I don't know, wasn't my favourite, but I don't hate Hunter's Haven. I will respect it. It was a fun POI, but I don't think it was the best location though. And I can say the same for number 28, which is Colossal Coliseum. Again, not my particular type of location, but again, it's another one of those particular locations that I'll land at if I want, and I'll have fun there, landing there. But it's not like, again, my top tier location I would particularly land at, but I would still land there if I want to. At this point, we're starting to get into the location, and now we're getting to those bits of locations where I think they're like good, but not great, and I think Colossal Coliseum is one of them, and same for Hunter's Haven, even though they're not my particular type of locations. Alright, Corey, someone's on me here. Alright. Alright, okay, I'm screwed there. Alright. 27, this is the highest ranked landmark. Not Hunter's Haven, sorry. That was just looked at just then. Number 27 is the IO Outpost. Again, I put it all into one spot. The IO Outposts, they were really good landmarks, in my opinion. Yeah, decent loot, all of them. The IO guys were there. It was a very good landmark to us, and I love them. And plus, you had the launch pad there, so when you were done, you could just rotate to wherever you want. So there was ways to rotate out of it if you weren't even in the zone, which if that was your dropping area, I have respect for the IO Outposts. And that's what's getting number 27. Alright, number 26, this is going to be the Rig. Honestly, a very solid landmark. I mean, location, sorry. It's not landmark, this is a normal landmark side. It's a solid location. But I don't think it was that great either of a boss location. This is the second lowest ranked of the boss locations. I think, yeah, third lowest ranked. Now, we're looking at the best version of the Rig here. If it got destroyed, it would be a bit lower down, but looking at the best version, it was alright. But it wasn't my type. It wasn't, again, just like Colossal Coliseum, Hunter's Haven. I would land there, but it's not my particular type of location either. But I'll give respect for it. But this is the best version of Rig we're looking at. The version of it where when you got destroyed was pretty bad, but the version before that, it was okay. At number 25, we have Steamy Stacks. Decent loot location, but the problem is there wasn't too much. The problem is there was not a lot of like. It obviously there wasn't really like too much materials there. There was like not a lot. Yeah. Seems like it didn't have the best obviously not materials to be able to Steamy Stacks. You know, this decent loot, and plus even if you yeah. Steam is okay, but at the same time, it's not again my favorite location. But it had decent loot. But even if when you're far away from the zone, you could just use the smokestacks themselves to rotate into zone, and I get respect for it. But it's not a type of location. All right, I'll get into the next spot in a minute. Number 24, which is actually going to be the Weeping Woods location. Okay. Alright, let me just finish this part before I go into the next spot. 24 spot is actually Weeping Woods. Okay, here we go. 24's Weeping Woods. Now, I used to hate Weeping Woods a while ago. I don't know why, but honestly, it's a very good location. And yeah, it's got a lot of woods. So if you are low on mats or anything, just go to Weeping Woods. Had decent loot. It was fairly decent central location, and honestly, I just thought it was a really good POI in my opinion. And I could say the same for number 23, which is Craggy Cliffs. Again, decent POI. Even though Craggy was fairly far away, it was a good location. And I don't know, there was just something about Craggy that I thought was like, it was like pretty good about it, eh? Wouldn't you agree? And yeah, it's ranked at 23. So yeah, alright, coming in number 22, we have Rickety Rig. Honestly, Rickety Rig, again, just like some of the other locations on this list, it's working the best version. Now while the islands were very spread out, which could be kind of annoying for rotation, the thing that did make it quite good though was especially there was that remember that building that had the supply drop thing? You were just guaranteed a purple weapon or gold weapon every single time you landed there, and that was what was good about the rig. I liked the Rickety Rig, sorry. I liked Rickety Rig, it was a good location. Alright, number 21 we have Stealthy Stronghold. Very good location to be honest. I don't know why they got rid of the name for it, but it was a really good area. I like the jungle vibe to it, it was really cool, the detail to it was awesome. I honestly just thought this was a really good location, and I'm gonna miss it. It's not like my favourite POI, but I respect it. I haven't checked the green combat yet, how much damage is 54 damage, okay. But I think Stealthy was a good location. And it's getting number 21. Alright, number 20, we have the Conversions, which is the Conversion Middle. Honestly, okay, I'll give them this. A very, very good location for loot. I'll admit, it's incredible when it comes to chests, and that is incredible for that location. But the main thing that this location suffers from is the fact that this location, unfortunately, there's nothing to harvest in the area other than a few trees surrounding the location. That was just a problem with the location, to be honest. There's just no mats, obviously, there. And there's very little to gather for mats there. So, yeah, that's the problem. But either way, decent loot. And I'll respect it. It was a good location. Or it is a good location. Some wildlife. Okay, here we go. Let's kill that. Alright, anyway, coming at number 19, we have Dirty Docks. Dirty Docks used to be one of my absolute favourite locations to drop. But, I mean, the problem with Dirty Docks, very far out the way and there's no way to rotate of it, but really good loot. Okay? And that's why I like the location. Good loot, right? You guarantee some decent loot there most of the time. But, again, the thing that suffers from it, that takes away and makes me keep a bit lower is because of how far away it was. So, yeah. And like it's number 18 is the Authority. I used to dislike the Authority a bit back then because back then I was on top of the location, but I kind of think the Authority was good. Like Even though, yes, the mythic drum gun there wasn't as good as the Midas drum gun, but we had that. Do you remember that mythic grappler they had there? It was insane for movement, and if you had that, oh my god, you'd just be like, I don't know, rotating it. You'd just be flying across the map anywhere. I love the authority. It was a very good location. It was a decent location. Even though I think the HE is better, I think the authority is still a good location, and I will give respects for the location. It's a very average location. I mean, very good location actually. I think it's 80. This is the first of I think this is like an 8 tier spot now. We're looking at the 8 tier locations here at this point. Alright, number 17, we have Frenzy Farm. Frenzy is just a good location. I miss this location. I do think Colony Complex is the better location, but Frenzy was really good. Like, you had a lot of that. Remember that farmhouse, that huge farmhouse that had like, I don't know, a lot of like chests inside of it? It was like a lot of chests and all that mats. Sorry, man, the mats. It was amazing for just. It was just amazing, and that's what I like about Frenzy Farm. I just remember, I remember in my old streams, I was just getting a lot of mats when landing at that building. That one building in the middle of the location, just, oh my god. And just, honestly, Frenzy was just... Okay, so Frenzy was honestly a good location, but I still think, again, Corny is a better location. Yeah. Alright, number 16, we have Retail Row. Yeah, again, Retail Row, good location, again, like Frenzy Farm. Good location, good loot, but, again, just the other locations above this are just that good, to be honest. Number 15, and this is the, I think, Sparks' favourite location, apparently, according to that live stream that I just did just early today as of me recording this video, and that's the Grotto. The Grotto, a really good location. Now, I didn't used to like it too much when it first came out. I just was like, wasn't sure of the location like too well, but it's honestly a very good like lucky POI to land at. Well, yes, it wasn't that great when it first came out because I wasn't used to it at the start of it, but I mean the mythic minigun there, oh my god, it was like fantastic, and that was what was good about it. I like the Grotto. Yeah, even though again it was a little difficult rotating out of there, so if you didn't get the chopper, it would have been a bit difficult to rotate out. But again, I think the Grotto was a good and very, very solid POI. And again, it's up there at ranking number 15. And number 14, we have Salty Towers. Bro, is it just me? Is that location amazing? The Salty Towers POI, just freaking awesome. So much better than Salty Springs, so much better than Bony Burbs. What was good about the location from the start as well? First of all, since it's emerged Salty Springs and Salty Towers, there's more buildings, right? It had good loot. Because Salty Springs was obviously wasn't a good look, but wasn't a really particularly fantastic POI. Having all these buildings from Salty Towers just made was a true upgrade to that location, which made lots of loot, and also it was fun to fight in. Honestly, I love Salty Towers, but I don't think it's good enough for the top 10. But I think it's good enough for this top 15, and yeah, that's why you see it on the list, eh? And why it's up here with me. So yeah, and number 13 we have Misty Meadows. Misty used to be one of my favourite, probably my top 5 favourites of all time, but no, it's gone down. They barely changed in this chapter, but again, it's a good location, good loot. Yeah, again, good loot, good. It's not too far out the way anyway, because even if you're far away from the zone, you could just like, I don't know. You could just like, I don't know, rotate out of there with the boat. Obviously, next to there's a boat next to it, obviously, and plus there's a whole river next to a lake. Just a really good location, Misty Meadows was, and I have a lot of respect for Misty Meadows. Again, that's why it's up there in my top location spots. Number 13 and number 12, we have the Fortilla. Really, really good location. Yeah, that mythic burst was insane. The mythic chug jug was also very good of a weapon. I'm not like weapon. It wasn't a weapon. It was an item. Sorry. Everything was good. Everything was just good about the Fortilla. This is just nothing was wrong with the Fortilla at all. Like, if you don't like the Fortilla, then I understand. But I loved the location. Just, dude, good location. That's all I can say. Right, number 11, we have Pleasant Park. Yes, not enough to make it to the top 10, but it's an old classic. One of the best locations in the game. One of my I will definitely land there a lot of the time. But I just feel like the top 10 is just better in my opinion. Some people could agree, some might agree, some might disagree. But again, this is all completely my opinion. So let's get into shall we get into number 10 spot, which is actually going to be Doom's Domain. It's just the same location as Pleasant Park, but it's a little bit upgraded with the mythics there. The mythics there were actually pretty decent. They weren't like the best mythics there you got there, but they were good. Okay, you know what I mean? And yeah, it was pretty good. Plus we had that little thing that opened again. The football pitch also opened. But yeah, it was honestly really good. Number 9, we have Stark Industries. Again, awesome POI. There was like an awesome POI. Yeah, honestly, such an awesome POI that was. Stark Industries. Even though it was pretty hectic when you would land there because of obviously the Iron Man Unibeam and the Iron Man repulsors, they were honestly really good mythics, which makes Stark Industries pretty hard to get. It was really hard to get the mythics, to obtain those mythics. But again, I will give respect for Stark Industries. It was honestly a good location. I'm a part of that gang that loves Stark Industries, but is it really as good as these next other locations I'm about to rank? No. Again, in my opinion. So, here we go. Number 8 is Sweaty Sands. Just a very good location. So, lots of loot. I think it had the most chests of any location in Fortnite Chapter 2. I could be wrong, but I think it's the place with the most chests. Just honestly a really good location. Number 7 is Believer Beach. Just the same location as Sweaty Sands. I put these two together. This was just an amazing location you could land at. You were guaranteed really good loot. You were guaranteed some good mats. Yeah. And it wasn't too hectic all the time either. And number 6, we have Corny Complex. Now, we're looking at the best version of Corny Complex here. It was just another very good location as well. The Dr. Sloan boss, even though it was annoying to fight, it was, again, very good. The Mythic Pulsar was extremely good. Up until it was terrible to start with, but when the Slappy got abducted and the Pulsar got its buffs, it was just a good location. And yeah, I loved landing at Corny Complex. And I guess number 6. Okay, number 5 is Caddy Corner. Now we're looking at the version of the Caddy Corner when obviously the Kit Boss was there, obviously. And believe me, whether or not the Mythic Charged Shotgun, oh my god, it was insane. Bit overpowered, but it was very, very strong and very, very, very good. And that's why I love this, and that's why I love the location. And yeah, even though I didn't have too much loot and it was very far out of the way, it was honestly a really good location, in my opinion. Again, all of this is completely my opinion. Okay, number 4, we have Lazy Lake. Is it just me as a Lazy Lake that were like almost my favourite POI? I enjoyed landing there. Good loot. There was a lot of fights there. There was a lot of people that landed there. So even if you, yeah, so you weren't always guaranteed the win there, but it was a very fun location to land at, and I'm gonna miss it. I doubt it will be here in Chapter 3, but hopefully we get something similar to Lazy Lake in Chapter 3. Hopefully. And yeah, Lazy Lake was just one of my type of locations I would just enjoy landing at. So yeah, so let's get in the number 4 spot. So really, time to rank my number 3 spot, which is it's the Agency. Agency was honestly such a fantastic POI, to be honest. Again, very good loot as well, and the Mythic was insane. Yeah, everything was good about the Agency, but I don't know, just the other 2 locations are just, I don't know. Alright, this is where we're at my favourite part of the video. Wonder why you wanted to click on this video for my opinion on these top locations, which honestly I think could be just by far the best here. And that argue these are just a tie here. But number 2, it'd have to be the Shark. The Shark, an awesome location. Again, But the thing that makes the shark better than the 18, even though the shark had less loot than the 18, and it was far out the way. The thing that made the shark so good is you didn't get one mythic there, you had two mythics. You had the mythic scar, which was extremely good. Plus you had the mythic grabber combined with that, which just made the shark better than the 18, to be honest. Like, you know, come on. Even though despite having less loot and being very far out of the way. Plus, plus another thing that was good about the shark, even if the zone was on the opposite side of the map and you were the one that had the grappler, and so, just rotating, there'll be like no problem to get to the circle, giving you all that amazing mobility. So even if you were very far out of the way, you could just use the mythic grappler to get in there and not even necessarily take a boat. And just wow, isn't it insane? It was also good for just using it to get to one pop something to the face with your shotgun or something. Again, just that the shark was a really good POI. But number one, I'm about to tell you why it's my favourite location in a second. That's why I'm going to meet this person. And that's Slurpee Swamp. Now, probably most of you are going to disagree with this. Some might agree. But I could probably say quite a few people are going to disagree with this. Here is why Slurpee Swamp's my favourite location. Now, while yes, you're going to say it doesn't have, obviously, we're looking at the best version of Slurpee now, obviously, the good version of it before I got abducted. Now, yes, obviously, yes, it wasn't like, it was kind of far out the way, and it didn't obviously have too much loot. What did make Slurpee so good? Slurp barrels, you know, you can never really beat free health, to be honest. Like, even if you were in so many fires to that location, and you just get some, obviously, very, good health there. You would guarantee full shield most of the games there, and that was what made Slurpee really good. Although Slurpee didn't have, even though Slurpee didn't have like the best loot, it didn't have terrible loot, but it didn't have the greatest loot. Even with those factors in, though, so what makes Slurpee the best is the slurp barrels, like I just said. And honestly, I just think Slurpee Swamp's the best location of all time of Chapter 2. But if we're being honest, I think the Agency, the Shark, Lazy Lick and Caddy Corner are a very close bit behind. Anyway, that's gonna do it for the video. So thank you all for watching. Make sure to subscribe if you haven't, and yeah, that's what more we really need to do, to be honest. Just make sure to subscribe, and I will see you all in the next video. Peace out.